to the Inside Scoop Emerald Planet. Here again, your host, Dr. Sam.
Hello and welcome to the Emerald Planet as we look around the globe for the 1,000 best practices, the technologies, the products, the services, and the people that are making a difference in the 21st century. We're focused on the solar decathlon, and that has a little bit of different connotation to it. And but we have a competition. It's global in nature, and where universities are competing to develop actual functioning homes. And you're going to be seeing some of these as we're going through the segments for this particular program. And I have seated beside me Richard King, who is the Director, United States Department of Energy for the Solar Decathlon. And we're getting ready to bring up the second place winner out of the 20 teams. This is Purdue University. And I just want to see if our Skype is on, where they're going to be coming to us by Skype. And Team Purdue, are you here?
Yep, we're here.
All right, welcome. Glad to have you on Emerald Planet Television.
Thank you very much for having us.
And I'm going to be introducing William Bill Hutzel, Associate Professor. Bill, can you wave at us?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Lee Causey, who is the controls designer on the Solar Decathlon, graduate student, mechanical engineering. Can you raise your hand? There you go. And then Kevin Rodgers, who is the project manager, graduate student, mechanical engineering. And all three are Purdue University. We're glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
I'm going to start off, Bill, tell us a little bit about how you were able to assemble the team that you had and why the different disciplines that you put together. And we're going to bring up the first slide about your home, and we'll have those going in the background as we all chat. So if we can bring up the first slide. And Bill, tell us a little bit about your team.
One of the challenges that we
it together.
immediately faced is Purdue doesn't have a College of Architecture. So I'm in a College of Technology, so we've got great practical expertise in terms of how to construct homes and how to do some of the practical designs. But we immediately went out and recruited students and faculty in 6 different colleges. So we had College of Engineering, College of Agriculture, we had students in management and hospitality. We even had students in science and the College of Science involved as well. But that's a big kind of multidisciplinary team.
Well, I tell you, I think, Bill, that's really commendable that you're bringing in all the different colleges. Purdue University is quite famous in the United States and, of course, abroad. And to have that many colleges participating, that really says something about your leadership and your ability to bring disparate disciplines together to create something that actually is a functioning house. So, Lee, coming to you, looking at this structure, what about the controls? And as you may have heard, we were talking about the University of Maryland about this balance between nature and mechanical systems.
Well, we just wanted to go with something that was easy to use, user-friendly, and more or less right off the shelf that anybody could put in their home today.
Now, let me bring up this next slide so we can be showing these off if we can. And Lee, looking at it, how were you able to do the research, and how many people were involved with you as far as the controls and the mechanical systems you're using in this home?
We actually had a class dedicated to designing the mechanical systems, and I actually had at my disposal class of undergraduates that helped me come up with the design of the controls. So we each broke into groups and made different designs, and then I kind of filtered through that and came up with the final design. Worked with some industry professionals here on campus, as well as Professor Bill Hutzel here.
Well, Kevin, looking at what you're doing, this is really a very nice home. I know that you're trying to share the Midwestern style and materials, also, in a sense, Midwestern values, which are very important and very precious to the communities that you're serving through Purdue University. What are kind of the considerations that you looked at in being sure to meet the demands of the Midwest, but to have something else that actually could be used universally?
Well, that's, when we were originally designing it, we want people to be able to walk into our home and feel at home. And so we want them to be not really changing the way how they were living. And the ultimate goal of us was, if you have broad appeal for a type of house, that's going to be more widely adopted than anything else. So in the end, you'll have a larger impact on energy use in the future. And while we're designing this home, we also had a location here in Lafayette, Indiana, for the permanent location for our house. So we had a neighborhood picked out already, so we were kind of designing toward that style in that neighborhood.
Okay, so you want to have something that is going to be, in a sense, on the cutting edge as far as technology, the balance of nature, but also something that people from within the community surrounding the university could walk in and say, yes, I could live here. Is that the idea?
That's right. They just be very familiar to them when they walked in.
Let's bring up this next slide, and I'd like to keep these slides up if we can so that we can move through these, because I think this is just really attractive home. And Bill, sitting beside me is Richard King. I know that I'm sure the two of you had many interactions over the 2 years. So I'm going to let him come in and ask a question about your home and your participation in the solar decathlon.
Great.
We had a new contest this year, which was affordability. You had to keep your house under $250,000. You came in third place, yet you outperformed most of all the other teams. What was the key to your success? Because I'm sure all the homeowners would love to know, how did you stay so affordable?
We bucked convention a bit, I think, by using off-the-shelf components. So we had a high-performing off-the-shelf central air conditioning system, and everything in the home. The students did a good job with their research, but it was off-the-shelf equipment that ended up performing very well. So as much as anything, students did their homework.
Well, and that's the whole thing about this too, Bill, and then going on to Lee Casey as far as the controls and the technology of all this. How did you balance the demands that you have of all the modern technologies, but yet have a home that's going to be totally off-grid and going to be functioning with solar power?
Like I said, there was tons of people involved in this, and we just started whittling away at it and trying to figure out, how do we make this a reality? So, we didn't get to do some of the really advanced technologies that we would like to, but it worked out for us that it helped us keep the budget down and keep the house in functioning home, and that's what the goal was.
So, for example, one of the things the students learned early on is that a solar thermal system, while many would have them on their home for hot water, we felt it'd be an advantage to have an all-electric home and take advantage of a hot water heat pump. So, and that ended up working very well, and that was a few teams had done that, but not many.
Kevin, looking at being the project manager, I know you tried to balance out. You had all the different colleges within university involved, so you're using engineering and architecture, but also you had business and communications and others involved in this. How did you incorporate representatives from these other colleges so that they may not be necessarily helping with the design of the house or the technical aspects, but keeping it within the cost constraints and also to make sure that it was very energy efficient?
Now, we had basically a manager group. It was about 13 students that were from all across campus, and we'd have weekly meetings and sit down and talk about issues. And we really broke up the design of the home into different areas. So some of it was classes just devoted to the solar decathlon. Others were classes that were already existing that did just small projects in their class. So it was really just walking across campus. Those managers would meet with those students in those classes and make sure that everything was headed in the right direction.
Bill, looking at, since you're associate professor in the College of Technology, Department of Mechanical Engineering, that's a somewhat of a narrow niche, but growing because of the demands for new and more modern and energy efficient systems, not only in the United States but around the globe. How were you able to communicate with the leadership of the other 5 colleges you were involved with to make sure that they stayed involved? Because 2 years, that's a long time when you look at assembling a team and trying to keep them together to go through the whole contest.
It's just the type of project that captured people's imagination. And realistically, it wasn't just the colleges. We had support from the facilities on campus and the development office to help us with the fundraising. And I guess I would say the job on my part was quite easy. I initiated the contact and maintained communication. But again, this contest is one that people viewed as important and interesting and compelling enough that the project really took on a life of its own before too long.
Lee, looking at this, we have about 2 minutes left. Take a little bit of time and tell us what some of the important lessons that you learned that's going to carry you through your professional career.
Well, it was interesting being a grad student. I've gone through undergrad and you have courses and you do the homework, but coming into a project like this, I really got to work with a lot of different people from all over campus. Just like Bill said, the physical facilities department here on campus helped out a lot, and I actually worked with them. So it was interesting to work in the office, in the classroom, on the job site with people from all different professions. I know more about interior design now than I probably would have ever known had I just had class here.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. And Kevin, of course, being the project manager, you really did have to hold sway over everything that was going on. And you have so many different personalities and so many different technical skills being contributed to this. What did you learn as far as the psychology of managing such a long-term but complex project?
I guess trust. You have to make sure you have talented people working with you. You know, our manager group, I trust each one of them to take on their responsibilities. And also, like you say, each person is different. So, you know, just making sure that if someone has an issue, deal with them properly. You know, he's a pretty good character here. So,
you know, 2 years ago when we wrote the proposal, we kind of laughed a bit that the section of the proposal talked about conflict resolution and how you would deal with unexpected eventualities. And in hindsight, that we should have made that section of the proposal a little bit bigger. Not that we had a lot of dissension, but there's a lot of strong opinions as you work on a project like this.
Well, the last slide we have in here is the announcement of you guys coming in second place. And it looks like you just won a major football game. And so, Bill, about 10 seconds. What was the feeling to actually come in second in this global competition?
Relief, surprise, a great sense of
every emotion. Well, thank you for being with us, and as we create the Emerald Planet.